Ladies and gentlemen, Impact Wrestling Review, the May 17th edition. We're about to hop right on into it. Feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to be notified of every video that I make. So, we were back this week, and this was quite the show. We got started off with the ladies last night, and a knockout battle royal. It was a really good knockout battle royal. Well, until the end. I'm gonna get to my top takeaways from this show. My first takeaway is Glenn Gilberti. So we had a phenomenal matchup with many contestants: Carissa Rivera, Ashley Fox, Solo Darling, many of the knockouts. But let me just take a side note for a minute here. Impact Wrestling signed Tasha Steelz. Tasha Steelz was in this match, and just a few weeks ago, I was talking about how I just ran up on Tasha Steelz on YouTube. I looked up some of her matches. She is phenomenal. Her personality is magnetic. She is the future. And I am really hoping and praying that Impact signs her to this knockouts division. Arguably the best knockouts division it has been in the history of Impact. She would be a phenomenal add. I would love to see her there. That's beside the point, but I really want to see Tasha Steelz at Impact. As for this match, I thought it was a fantastic match. Pretty much every lady got her time to shine, and it displayed everyone greatly. We had a nice press slam from Tessa Blanchard, the walking mean streak, the best overall women's wrestler on the planet. I've said it before, I'll say it again. And we had a nice mini match with Kiera Hogan and Tessa Blanchard toward the end of the match. I wanted Kiera Hogan to pick up the victory. That's just me. But Tessa Blanchard, it will look like Tessa Blanchard will pick up the victory. But Disco Inferno, that darn Glenn Gilberti, comes in, steals the win, eliminates Tessa, and bruh, how many times do I have to say this? Get Glenn Gilberti off my screen. I'm sick of seeing him. Like, I'm tired of it. I get that this is probably going to lead to Glenn Gilberti losing to Tessa. Tessa gets the win over Glenn Gilberti, teaches him a lesson. But look, I don't want to see it anymore. I'm tired of this. Let Tessa Blanchard win the match. Or let Kiera Hogan win the match. I'm tired of Glenn Gilberti. Let's do something else. So, moving on here, a Michael Elgin beatdown. He got into it with Willie Mack. Said he wanted to injure him again, or wanted to send him to a hospital. They started to brawl, and Willie Mack got slammed into a truck. And man, Michael Elgin's a beast. That would later lead to a match with Rich Swann later on in the match in the main event. I'll get to that later. So moving on, my next takeaway is a feud ender. We had the Demon Collar match, Rosemary versus Su Yung. It was a decent enough match. Wasn't what I would particularly call a great match, but I did enjoy it. We had some decent spots in this match. I love the Rosemary death drop that she executed. I think she had the chain wrapped around Su Yung when she did it. And this was a decent enough match. There was some physical violence in this match, and Rosemary would go on to pick up the victory, and she would drag out Su Yung with her. And I gotta say that I was hoping that it would be a feud ender, but we have Rosemary dragging out Su Yung, so I'm not quite sure. I think both of these ladies really need to move on to something else. I really want Rosemary to get back to the place where she was, where it felt like Rosemary was the most important character on Impact Wrestling TV. That was around the time we was having a debate, who's the head of Impact Wrestling, like who's leading it. And it was a debate to where it was like, well, I don't know who's leading it. It's like everybody's leading it, so, because 1 week it's Rosemary, 1 week it's that person. And it was a steady debate, but Rosemary was at the top of it. She's not quite at the top of it anymore. Maybe she's working her way back up. I hope to see that she gets back there sometime soon. My next takeaway is a Madman squash. Madman Fulton versus Randy Sean, and not much to talk about here. It was just a match to make Madman Fulton look good, and it did just that. Madman Fulton got in a lot of offense. and he destroyed Randy Sean. So we're not gonna waste any more time with that. Hopefully this is leading to Madman folks being built up to get a shot at some type of title going forward. So we will move on here, and we had a Brian Cage update. Next takeaway, and the investigative journalist, I'm just do not like that guy. He is not funny to me. And this segment, I didn't really like it because we had the Impact Doctor, and he's giving all of this Dr. Jumbo talk about Brian Cage, and talking about how a regular man wouldn't be able to walk, but Brian Cage is not a regular man. He's walking, and it didn't really serve our purpose, to be honest. We could have went without this segment. That's just my opinion. We'll see how Brian Cage makes his way back. Hopefully, it's looking like the injury obviously wasn't as serious as I had feared, with the guy going straight to the hospital after the pay-per-view. So I'm hoping for that guy to get back. I cannot wait to see that guy come back. So moving on, my next takeaway is You Killed Kenny. We had Eddie Edwards versus Killer Kross. It was a good match that I enjoyed. You know, Eddie Edwards being the smaller guy, I always like to talk about this. Eddie Edwards being the smaller guy, Killer Kross the bigger guy. It makes for a good combination, especially when that bigger guy can move around really well. And that's what Killer Kross is. He is the new age big guy. So I enjoyed this matchup, but the story of the match, as Killer Kross is going to pick up the victory, the real story of the match was the post-match. Killer Kross is going through all of these motions. That zip ties out. Tying up Eddie Edwards. He's pulling out gloves. And I'm like, what's going to happen here? And he breaks Kenny over his knee. And that is the angle that we have. Eddie Edwards is selling the heck out of it. He's destroyed, yelling, no! And I enjoyed it for the most part. It's pretty funny. I wouldn't mind seeing another match between Killer Kross and Eddie Edwards. This certainly leaves open the door for another match. We'll see how it goes going forward. So, my next takeaway is that the Rascals rock. Man, these guys are in the room and they're going back and forth with each other. Trey claims to be vegan now, and it was either Trey or Zachary Wentz was claiming to be vegan. And I gotta say that this was a phenomenal Rascal segment. I loved every bit of it. And we went into the hilarious training montage. Them getting pushed around in grocery carts. These guys are running upstairs, and it was pretty good. The Rascals are a weekly for sure thing as far as entertainment goes. They're either going to be really funny or they're either going to put on a really good match. I enjoyed them this week. So moving on, going to move into the final takeaway, and that is a fantastic main event. Michael Elgin versus Rich Swann. There were a lot of sick spots from this match. The Michael Elgin German suplex, I love that. I think that came from the corner where Rich Swann was sitting up on the turnbuckle, if I'm not mistaken. It was a sick German suplex. We had that Michael Elgin drop kick. Rich Swann is on the top turnbuckle. He jumps down and he eats a drop kick from Michael Elgin. Just some phenomenal spots in this match. Rich Swann, the 3 tope dives before the commercial break, and a lovely Rich Swann 450, which got a nice near fall. This was a phenomenal match, and we didn't get a clean finish with Willie Mack coming down. He jumped in to get him some on Michael Elgin. That brought down Johnny Impact. He beat down Willie Mack, and we had a stare-off between Johnny Impact and Michael Elgin, and that would close the show. This was a phenomenal main event. I loved every single bit of it. The crowd was hot. We had some phenomenal near falls, and they have me interested. Johnny Impact, Michael Elgin, what happens here? They left us on the hook. So I'm interested to see what happens going forward next week and beyond. So that is it for my takeaways from this Impact. Let me know your thoughts, whether it's on Twitter at OMGCoreyB or at the number 2 SweetPod, or on Twitter, or on YouTube in the comments. Let me know your thoughts.